Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening. Thank you so very much for tuning in. This is a very, very important segment, and I want you to go back to this segment to understand exactly why this whole process is not only malicious and insidious, but an extension of the Democratic Party and an example of just pure propaganda. First of all, well, I was going to get to Judge Sullivan, who's an honorable man, and I'll explain why. But to my super chat, thank you so very much. You give me every incentive to rock these live streams. It is extremely frustrating looking at sound bites from a media that wants nothing more than to confirm its conspiracy theories. The media is complicit. And honestly, at this point right now, if you think there's a plan, I'm sorry to say you're complicit. If you're complacent enough to read message boards thinking that military intelligence officers are going to save you or the country, you're part of the problem. And I say this with all due respect and love. There's no plan. There's no altruistic ending. You have to make your own future, and you have to put Trump's feet to the fire, obviously, so to speak, in terms of metaphorically speaking. You have to ensure that Trump knows you will not vote for him if he does not do what he promised: drain the swamp, make sure that criminals in government don't continue to commit crimes with impunity. Okay, there are no people who are going to save you, but the voters. And Trump needs to act and do what he was elected to do. Now, I want you to remember about 5 key points. Number 1, and this is important, ladies and gentlemen. This is one of the reasons why this segment is important. I'm going to get right to it. Number 1, General Michael Flynn and Judge Emmett Sullivan is an honorable man, and I'll tell you why. But Judge Emmett Sullivan corrected himself and stated that General Flynn did not consult with Turkey when he became National Security Advisor. After Trump won and he was in government, he was not National Security Advisor. I mean, he was not consulting for Turkey. That's number 1. So he might have made that statement regarding, selling out before he corrected. I don't know when he made that statement, but he was referring to Turkey. He did not work for Turkey when he was National Security Advisor for Trump. Again, and I am reaching out to anyone, David Pakman, Sam Cedar, anybody who wants to debate me about Russiagate. I will easily defeat anyone who wants to debate that Trump worked with Russia to hack the DNC to ensure that people knew in swing states that Bernie Sanders was cheated. That never happened. Today we learn, number 1, Michael Flynn was not working as a consultant to Turkey when he was with Trump or when he was in government as National Security Advisor. That is very important. The only real issue, aside from a bogus lying to the FBI, which he didn't even really lie. Quick, tell me what you had for dinner for lunch last Tuesday. Okay, well, you know what? You had rosemary potatoes. Oops, you lied. You're going to jail. This is a process crime. So, number 1, he did not work as a consultant for Turkey. That did not happen. That did not happen, ladies and gentlemen. That did not happen while he was National Security Advisor for Trump. He ended that before he became National Security Advisor. Number 2, his calls with Kislyak were already recorded, or the contents of which were already known. Number 2, his communication with Sergei Kislyak, which, by the way, he brought his son with one time. And so prosecutors were threatening his family, which is another reason he didn't want to go back on the guilty plea. Number two, the contents of his discussion have nothing to do with treasonous behavior, nothing to do with any crime. Okay, again, the contents, the discussion, what they spoke about had nothing to do with any crime whatsoever. Number three, Judge Emmett Sullivan was clowning the Mueller probe. Again, Judge Emmett Sullivan was clowning the Mueller probe, and media is too stupid to realize that. He kept saying, well, is there anything treasonous? Is there anything treasonous? Because when people are so happy that a general's life is being ruined or trying to be ruined, they don't realize that he's pleading guilty because he doesn't want to fight the system. The system is like the house in a casino. The house wins in a casino. The best gamblers in the world only win about 54% of the time, if that. You think you go into Vegas or Atlantic City and you're going to win more often than not? No, you won't. Okay. Like I said, even the best gamblers, whether it's, craps or blackjack or gambling on sports, you only win 54% of the time, maybe, if that. The house wins. So Flynn is not stupid. He doesn't want to continue fighting. What? He's going to risk jail time? Okay, but that's stupid. So what happened was the Judge Emmett Sullivan kept saying, is this treasonous in any way? Was it treason? Was it treason? And the prosecutor said, no, it wasn't. No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't, because they don't have any evidence of any criminal wrongdoing between Kislyak and Flynn. Okay. Then he said, well, if it's not treasonous, what's the deal? Why was he even investigated to begin with? This is why Judge Emmett Sullivan, even though he threw us a curveball, he's a very honorable guy. He's very intelligent. And he basically said, look, he didn't commit any treason. He wasn't selling secrets to the Russians. So why do you want him? He wasn't colluding with Russia. He wasn't trying to hack the DNC. So why do you want him? Prosecutors confirmed there was no treason, no collusion. But what they said was it could be the Logan Act. Okay. First of all, and then Judge Sullivan said, no, it's not going to be the Logan Act because nobody's been prosecuted. That had, what, like last time, like 150 years ago, something like that. Also, Obama came into this into 2008 with a Russian reset. That he campaigned on a complete reversal of Bush's foreign policy. Where not only to campaign, but there's a Guardian article talking about Vladimir Putin saying he wanted Obama. Okay, they've convinced themselves, ladies and gentlemen, they've convinced themselves that they've used the words treason and collusion and foreign power as if they're like these tough foreign policy analysts. These are people who sold uranium to Moscow. These are stupid. The Democratic Party is a bunch of stupid, pseudo-intellectual individuals who think that they're really smart when in reality, everything they do turns out to be atrocious. Yeah, and when Flynn said, Clinton should go to jail or that she should be indicted, yeah, he was right. Dances reluctantly, thank you. He was right. Okay, so number 4. So in addition to the fact he was not working with Turkey in government, he was not. He no longer had that consulting contract. He had there was no issue. There were no issues whatsoever. There were no issues whatsoever regarding
his words, okay, with Kislyak. There was no, not only was there no treason, but Judge Emmett Sullivan was calling out the Mueller probe, saying, well, why do you want this guy? What was the reason you wanted this guy? My microphone sound is like messed up. What was the reason you wanted this guy to begin with? Oh, okay. And then Emmett Sullivan got a little bit annoyed with Flynn, and this is why. It wasn't Flynn's fault, but this is why. Peter Strzok, the case should have been thrown out because Peter Strzok was the lead investigator. Peter Strzok was arrested. I mean, should have been arrested, but was fired. Peter Strzok was fired because of text messages that said he wanted to stop Trump. Could you imagine if Hillary was indicted and there were text messages stating we'll stop Clinton? Well, the opposite is true, and they don't care. In fact, one guy who is a Democrat, I think in Tennessee, was like, oh yeah, Strzok deserves a Purple Heart. This is how brainwashed these people are. There's conspiracy theorists on the left, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, there's definitely conspiracy theorists on the left. This is a conspiracy theorist world, unfortunately, where you have people reaching. The difference is the left has the media. The left has the media, and they have late night, they have Hollywood, and they just have people who want to believe. They're out of power in terms of the executive and the Senate and the Supreme Court. They lucked out in the House, but even that's going to be a hollow victory because that'll help Trump win. I stated in 2016 Clinton would lose. She lost. And we're seeing exactly why. Judge Emmett Sullivan got upset or frustrated with Flynn's attorneys because they made an issue of, which is, they explained rightfully so that Flynn was set up. But see, Sullivan said, okay, well then why aren't you changing your guilty plea? That's the issue. Orange Knight, thank you. That's the issue. The issue is they didn't want to change. They did not want to change the guilty plea, obviously, because they didn't want to spend forever battling this out. And they can't tell Judge Sullivan, oh yeah, you know what? We know we're innocent, but we're just pleading guilty so we don't have to spend more money and risk jail time, even though these people. So but that makes for great media coverage for the left. Oh well, he pled guilty. Obviously, he knows. Now let's talk about the process crime. He didn't even lie. It was not remembering something that he has stated. That's not an overt lie. Okay, that's not an overt lie. Then he pled guilty to lying because he didn't want to fight the system. But how, this is the thing, the existence of Peter Strzok's text messages with his lover, Lisa Page. He's not going to win, right, honey? No, honey, we'll stop him. I'm the lumberjack. I'm the number 2 counterintelligence. This is a problem, ladies and gentlemen, a big, huge, gigantic problem. This is a travesty. And meanwhile, you have the most brainwashed idiots on Twitter. Oh, yeah, look, treason. They project. And they're trying to clown Trump, and they're saying, oh, well, look. You said, and Flynn and you and everyone said Clinton should be indicted. Clinton, and look who's getting indicted now. Ha, 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 ha. So now we get to the wonderful Q people and Trump. And I'm sorry, I can't stand this. There's no plan, ladies and gentlemen. We learned today. And I'm a very positive guy. On everything, I look at the positives and I say, look, Trump's going to fight back, because I do believe he will in 2019, but it's not going to be easy. It's not going to be easy. And if you think that riddles from 8chan are speaking to you from military intelligence officers when you had a 33-year veteran get railroaded by the system, you are going to believe that Elvis is alive, that the Loch Ness Monster exists, that Santa Claus exists, and that, just because somebody's a smooth talker, but they're not certain about anything. Okay, why do you think I asked Sather about certainty? Because people believe in their heart and soul that there's going to be a plan, that everything's going to work out right. It ain't working out. Wake up. It's not working out. It's not working out. Okay? I don't know what you need. Do you need Trump to be impeached? I mean, even if he is impeached in the House, it doesn't matter. Okay, but I'm talking about actually removed from office. Do you need him to be ousted for you to realize that Q is not real? It is a conspiracy theory, just like Trump Russia. Here's the difference, ladies and gentlemen. You're not circumventing the media. They don't care. They're laughing at you. Go to Comedy Central, Jim Jeffries. Okay? They are not scared of Q. They don't care. So remove yourself from this mentality. You're not doing research. You're listening to Medic or to a Sather or whatever. This is not research. It's not academia. It's nothing. You have a false sense of security, which is exactly what the left wants, exactly what Democrats want, exactly what the media wants. You think you're doing anything? Look what happened today. You think that they're scared of a letter named Q because of a call sign, because they could predict the future, with most of it's not? Activate sessions. Oh, Clinton arrested at this time and date. Ain't happening. It's complete. Disinformation is important. Why didn't Flynn just tell Judge Sullivan disinformation is important? Oh, by the way, help me out. Disinformation is important. Q. There are no military intelligence officers. They would get arrested in 2 seconds if they were riddling classified or even non-classified data. This is basic knowledge, but believe what you want to believe. Meanwhile, we have a real patriot who's getting railroaded. And it would be nice if maybe people who are conservative, who say they want Trump to win, maybe it's a healthy dose of Not I don't want anyone to be frustrated or angry or resentful, but how about a healthy dose of people desiring or wanting action? How about a healthy dose of, oh, Trump, we're waiting? Not trust the plan, complacency. How about get your act together, President Trump? Don't allow good people to suffer anymore. Don't allow them to destroy the lives of Carter Page or General Michael Flynn or George Papadopoulos. And they got Manafort and Cohen because they actually committed crimes. President Trump is sleeping behind the wheel. Now, whether he fights back in January or this year, I think he will eventually. But the plan isn't working, ladies and gentlemen. There is no plan. You have to fight, and you have to work, and you have to create your own future and luck and fortune in life. This is stupid. You think you're just gonna grow muscles if you don't go to the gym, or make money if you don't do anything? Lauren Leach, thank you for your ministry of truth. I love to hear your podcast. Finally, somebody with common sense. I listen to you every day. Lauren, thank you so very, very much. Thank you so very, very much, Lauren. Thank you. Greatly, greatly, greatly appreciated, Lauren Leach. Thank you, Lauren. And we all want the same things. So Lauren and everyone here, thank you very much, Lauren. Thank you. We all want the same things. We want some kind of justice, but this is taking it's going at a very slow pace, And Sessions was an abomination. All of this is because Sessions allowed this to happen. He did not have to recuse himself. He did not have to become Attorney General. He did nobody. Okay, speaking, I'm going to say this 10 times. Okay, this will be worth more than like a billion dumb riddles. Jeff Sessions did not have to recuse himself. 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 Jeff Sessions did not have to recuse himself.
Oh my God, H.A. Where did you get this amazing knowledge?
He didn't have to recuse himself 11 times. Why? Because the only reason he recused himself is to become Attorney General for his ego. He did not commit a crime speaking to Sergei Kislyak. They tried to get him on perjury. They tried to say, well, you told us in Congress, you told Al Franken, the groper, fish lips, that you didn't have any contacts with Jeff Sessions. So then he said, well, you know, I did speak to him, but we didn't speak about anything else. Go look it up. So he said, you know what? I'll appease everyone. Not only will I recuse myself from the Mueller probe, so everything to do with Russia, I'll recuse myself. What does that mean? That means his number two, Rosenstein, who is loyal to Obama, within a heartbeat, within a second, they were talking about a special counsel before Comey's memos. Go look it up in Politico. The other day, I was looking at a Politico article. Wait a second. They were talking about a special counsel before Comey got fired. I'll say it. I could say it 10 times, but it's even annoying for me. They were looking at a special counsel before even, yes, I'm certain. Yes, I'm certain. I'm 100 billion, trillion, billion, trillion% certain he didn't have to recuse himself if he put his country ahead of anything else. He only recused himself to ensure he would become Attorney General. That's the only reason. That's the only reason he recused himself. Sessions did all of this, ladies and gentlemen, which is why Q is not only a conspiracy theory, it's almost designed specifically to you-know-what Trump supporters. Jeff Sessions, for 2 years, enabled all of this to happen, and Huber didn't do anything. No one's been activated. You know who's been activated? The Democrats, the media, James Comey, and everyone else. Okay, Jim Jeffries and Comedy Central are clowning you. They clowned the whole panel of Q people. My God Almighty! Enough getting clowned. Enough. Okay, I didn't become a Trump supporter to get clowned. No one's afraid. No one's activated. No one cares. They're laughing. And meanwhile, General Flynn is suffering. Meanwhile, Trump is asleep behind the wheel. Meanwhile, they're not getting any disinfo from you or anyone else. Trust me. They're creating the propaganda. They're creating the narrative. Trump is reacting. He can't do that. You cannot do that, ladies and gentlemen. You cannot do that. You cannot react to a narrative. You cannot say everything's going to be okay. Everything's going to be fine. Oh, we're wrong on this? Well, that's called disinfo. Oh, well, don't worry. Trust the plan. Oh, well, this is coming from military intelligence officers. No, it's not. No, it's not. No, it's not. No, it's not. I'm 1 billion% certain. We want to know why? Because when you make a claim, you have to back it up. It's not for the skeptic to say, oh, well, I'm going to prove that you're wrong because you have no evidence. No one can say, well, prove that it didn't happen. Okay? If someone went to you and said, oh, you owe me money, and then you said,
well, I don't owe you any money. Prove that. And you said, well, prove you don't owe me money. Here, pay up. Get it? It doesn't make any sense to say prove something without any evidence happened. But again, ladies and gentlemen, he didn't do anything wrong. Michael Flynn did not do anything wrong. The system got him. The system devoured him and Carter Page and Papadopoulos, and then Cohen and Manafort. They actually were criminals, but had nothing to do with Trump Russia. The system said Trump Russia, and then they couldn't find any evidence, so they went to consulting with Turkey. And then they said, well, you know what? You lied to the FBI. It wasn't a lie regarding any crime. It wasn't a lie regarding anything he did. It wasn't a lie regarding any Trump-Russia collusion. It was what they considered to be a lie, so it's a lie. And that's it. And that's it. It's like, when are people going to have enough of this nonsense? Trump needs to understand he's not going to get reelected if this continues. The biggest reason for people like me and others to vote for Trump is that he's going to fight back. Now, I'm expecting him. I do believe it's going to happen. Not only because of his personality, but because the people he's dealing with are criminals, absolute criminals. Okay? But he has to fight back. He has to do what he was elected to do. What happened today to Michael Flynn is a tragedy. What happened to Michael Flynn was a tragedy that should never have taken place. And the time is now. When the time is right. It's like a football team. It's like a football coach saying, well, we'll score at the right time in the fourth quarter when even though we're down by 50. No, now, sooner rather than later. People have to let Trump know that they're not going to vote for him if he doesn't fight back. Look what happened today to an honorable man. He was consulting with Turkey. So what? Generals do that. People in D.C. do that. They're consultants. Who cares? It is not a crime at all. It is not a crime. It is not a crime to consult with anyone. It is not a crime to speak to the Russian ambassador. It is not a crime even to say you don't recall something that has nothing to do with a criminal. There was no criminal behavior by Michael Flynn. Even lying about something he didn't remember is not a crime, according to Alan Dershowitz, Harvard professor for 50 years. It is not a crime to say, even to lie to the FBI about something that is not linked to any legal statute. It's called simply pure entrapment. That's all they did. They just wanted to entrap. They just wanted to set up and frame Flynn. Thank you, Scene Tulpan. Thank you, Tulupan. Thank you. Yeah, all of this is the result, first and foremost, of Trump not standing by Michael Flynn, because they wouldn't have been able to. Oh, and here's another thing. Here's another thing. They're like, oh, well, he spoke to Sergei Kislyak about well, this is the Logan Act. He's trying to alter U.S. foreign policy. Like, he's the incoming national security advisor. And like President Obama, I think Mueller's appointment is illegal.
It was based on Comey's notes and aided by Sessions and Rosenstein. Sparky, 99% of lawyers are anti-Trump. Flynn and Trump shouldn't assume their lawyers are working in their best interest. Lawyers are known for lawyers. Sparky, I agree with you. And I would also add to you this, Sparky. Yes, but I would say that only 5 to 10% of lawyers are actually really, 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 really good. I know some amazing, brilliant lawyers, but that's like 5% of lawyers. One in particular I know. But I think that I would say, Sparky, I would add this. And thank you, Lauren Leach, again. Thank you. Sparky, I would say that the big problem is lawyers are very establishment, especially DC lawyers. Lawyers play it safe. And when Trump had the chance, see, he had a GOP House. Not that it mattered, because Paul Ryan probably would have done him the way a Democrat would. But Eddie, I know his viewpoint, and his viewpoint is different from Sather's. Lionel Nation's viewpoint is different from Jordan Sather. Jordan Sather takes it literally. Lionel Nation does not take Q literally. He views it as something different from what Jordan Sather views it, which is why Jordan Sather couldn't say that it's certain. Okay. Lionel Nation almost certainly knows that there are no military intelligence officers speaking through 8chan. He views it very likely, from what and I like Lionel a lot. I watch Lionel Nation. I've watched him before many times. I think he's great. But he views it as a kind of unifying force or movement to get people to research. What happens, though, is that people give their heart and soul and their belief to this. And they really think there's a plan, and they really think that there's intelligence officers. And then when pressed, Jordan Sather is like, I know why you're telling me to do. You're asking me that question. And I'm like, no, dude, I'm asking you because people are certain with their heart and soul. You know how many people unsub from my channel? I have 23 downvotes from upset, angry Q people. I never got downvotes ever until I went up against the mighty Q. It's because people believe it with their heart and soul. Like, I'm unsubbing. It's like, dude, this doesn't make it real, buddy. I'm unsubbing. Well, okay, what do you want me to do? What do you want me to do? I'm unsubbing because you've ruined my belief that military intel speaks through 8chan, and Praying Medic and Jordan Sather translate this, but there's no classified intel. There's no classified intel. Trust me on that. Yeah, right. How could there not be classified intelligence if you have intel officers with riddles? And the riddles are hilarious. I was reading the other day. I mean, I don't want to go the next level and clown each Q post, because that'll really get people upset. You know how easy it is? I could clown so hard each Q. My friends, patriots, remember the storm? The storm is awakening. The great awakening is happening. Where we go when we go all. Watch this. Same bat channel, same bat time. Will Trump allow the mean people to win? No. Military intel through 8chan has let you know. Ethan Long, good evening. How are things on the Trump-Russia collusion front? They're actually really bad. Ethan Long. They're not good at all, because Judge Emmett Sullivan was like, is there any treason? And even the prosecutors are like, no treason. There's no treason, because there's nothing treasonous. He wasn't working
he wasn't working with Turkey, which is I think why he made that first statement. He wasn't working with Turkey. He didn't as national security advisor. His calls with Flynn were monitored. His discussions with Flynn were outed, just like Sessions. Okay, the guy Sergei Kislyak, and you know who? There was one journalist. He might be part of this whole thing also. He might have gotten some money on the side. Who knows? I'm not certain about that. This is a theory. See, if I'm not certain about something, I say I'm not certain. It's easy to say.
But when you're peddling the nonsense, hey, you want to hit? You want to hit? Huh? I got what you need. Are you certain it won't hurt me? I know why you're asking me that. Here, have this. It's not gonna hurt you. It's gonna help you. Are you certain it's not gonna hurt me? I'm not gonna tell you I'm certain.
So I'm pretty I am not certain that Sergei Kislyak was given money or something, but it's very bizarre that he goes and speaks to Flynn and speaks to Sessions. And then I just find it bizarre. I find that bizarre. Ethan Long, thank you. I find that bizarre. Sergei Kislyak is like, hey, how are you today? Want to talk to how are you, Sessions? Good. I just want to want a vodka? What's the matter? Cat got your tongue? Let's have a good discussion. Yes. No, it's good. It's all good in the hood. Let's talk. Let's talk about anything you like. I mean, it's like I am simple people, not the caliber of Trump. Yes, what a great caliber. Oh my God, good caliber. Look, Trump, just because Trump won the presidency doesn't mean he's doing everything right. Yes, I respect him for that. But just because somebody does something great, like if you win a championship and then you have a losing season, you can be critiqued. Okay? No wall. Not that I was like, dying for a wall, but you know what? It doesn't make sense for trafficking, drugs, everything. The wall makes sense regarding that. But no wall now. Not fighting back, as we can see. The foreign policy is great. Foreign policy alone is a reason to vote for Trump. I do agree with that. But stop, my God almighty, don't become like Democrats. President Obama could actually destroy a country. They wouldn't deviate. One thing about conservatives that is actually a very, very good thing is that many conservatives are very independent. And if they found out that Trump was cheated or that Trump was cheating somebody else, they would push back and they would say, no, I'm not voting for Trump or I'm not voting for the Republican Party. So it's not like I'm not saying don't vote for Trump. I'm voting for Trump in 2020. I'm saying make sure that Trump knows that he's going to lose a lot of voters. President Trump will lose a lot of voters. And that's the only plan is to get people complacent. Yes, I'm certain. It's like, I won't get into it. The Q people are like, oh, well, you said certain. That's stupid. Like, why is that stupid? There are Q believers who believe with all their heart and soul that military intel exists. Why can't the people peddling this nonsense believe it too with all their heart and soul? I wonder why. If you're worried, let me tell you, if you're spewing nonsense and you're worried about lawsuits, you have problems. Okay? Maybe there are things you should worry about. Okay? They got Corsi and Stone on completely fabricated things. It's not beyond the realm of reason. Here's some pre-legal advice. It's not beyond the realm of reason. If Mueller has nothing left, that he goes after people peddling the belief that military intel. Because if there's any connection, if there's a person in Russia who has an 8chan forum or board
or if there's a user that can be linked to Russia, he'll then bring Q into the whole Mueller probe thing. And then all the wonderful people who are like, as you can see here, PowerPoint, as you can see, they're going to get caught into the mix too. And then they'll be like, oops, I didn't mean it. I wasn't certain. Be like, so what, buddy? We don't care, because the government don't play. You start peddling nonsense. You start saying, oh, you speak to WikiLeaks like Corsi and Stone. They did it to themselves. Okay? They did it to themselves. I don't speak to WikiLeaks. I don't. I never have. But I can tell you that they've retweeted my articles. They've retweeted videos, and they've, have appreciated my work, and I'm very honored about that. But I never needed to raise myself up. When people are like, why do you tell us about that you got published? Blah, blah, blah. Because you know what? Not everybody knows who I am. In fact, most of the planet has no effing clue who I am. So I have to at least explain, a little bit, like, okay, my name is H.A. Goodman, whatever. Okay. But yeah, right. Next for what? Probably next for, I don't know, getting my subs back, but it's fine. People can be upset all they like. If you use public record, you're fine. If you make up stuff, you're not fine. I am who I am, said Popeye the Sailor Man. Thank you, Denise T. Thank you. Thank you, Fontini D. I am who I am, and I don't have to. The worst thing about me is I'll repeat where I was published. That's it. People are like, oh my God, not again. The worst thing about others is that they knowingly peddle nonsense that's not true. That's bad. That can come out and bite you in the tuchus. How do we know? Because Stone and Corsi never contacted Assange or WikiLeaks, and now they're part of the Mueller probe. What do you think is going to happen to people who are like, as you can see from these military intelligence officials who, on this 8chan board, the darkest reaches of the internet, patriots, the plan. Who is this? What is this? Who is this? What is this? What is that? Oh, yeah, Hillary's going to be arrested. Notice he didn't know it was arrested. He thought it was indicted. He didn't even know his own Q post. He didn't even know the first Q post. PGTMR2. That's awesome. But will you eat green eggs and ham? Johnny 5. Johnny 5. Eric H526. Thank you. Sam I am. Anyway, so, and they're all over Twitter now. They're like, we won the day. The Democrats. I never see. That's the thing. Someone said on Twitter, I bash Trump supporters. No, I never bash Trump supporters. That's why it's like a cult, because people think that I'm bashing them when I'm making fun of Q, and I'm not. When you're that closely attached to any kind of theory, it's a problem. So look. Someone gives you an honest critique without malice. It's all good. It's all good. It's all good. There's no problem. It's not an issue. It's not an issue. There's no treason. There's no nothing. And look, there you go. They want Flynn. Adam Schiff wants Flynn to testify, if you could believe this. Okay, well, there you go. What a wonderful plan. What a wonderful, wonderful plan. By the way, somebody posted his Q just to let you know. Somebody posted his Q, like a person. New trust agent. The Yahtzee! The Yahtzee, thank you so very much as always. I hope all is well. Happy New Year's. Happy New Year, and you know, I hope everything's good. The Yahtzee! Listen, let me tell you, HA is fake MAGA. I'm not, well, first of all, I'm voting for Trump, so you can call me MAGA or not MAGA, I don't care. I was fake Democrat on the left, I'm fake MAGA here. I'm just me. I'm just me. Break away from people telling you outlandish things with certainty. Break away. That's the difference between Lionel and Sather is that Lionel looks at this in only the most positive way and doesn't take it literally. Medics, Sather, all of them take it literally. And people who watch them take it literally. And when called, are you certain? They're not certain, of course. Thank you, James. Thank you. So, I mean, ladies and gentlemen, if anything, Q watches me and reads John Solomon, Kimberly Strassel, all of these things. And it's just, you know, Kimberly Strassel, John Solomon, Paul Sperry. Thank you, PGTMR2. PGTMR2, yes. Thank you, Divergent. Thank you, Divergent. But like Tom Fitton, Paul Sperry, John Solomon, Kimberly Strassel, Sarah Carter, you know, all you need to do is watch these people. You're fine. Read these people, I should say. Read their work. Someone said to me on Twitter, "You bash you bash Trump supporters." No, I don't. Then they said all Q people are Trump supporters. I'm like, okay, but I didn't bash them. I don't insult any Q people. I insult Q. The problem is the Q people think I'm insulting them. You know, that's not the way it works. Steele dossier is still fake, by the way. Carter Page, Flynn, Papadopoulos had nothing to do with Trump Russia. Michael Cohen, and Paul Manafort had nothing to do with Trump Russia. Paul Manafort bought an ostrich skin jacket. Johnny Five, make America sovereign again. And the Fed. Thank you, Johnny Five. Yep, these are real wonderful journalists, and you know, the issue here, Judge Sullivan is an honorable man because what he did was he basically Flynn's attorneys were caught between a rock and a hard place. They knew that he was set up. They needed to get that out in the media, but at the same time, they knew that he had to plead guilty. So then, obviously, that angered the judge. Obviously, the judge is like, look, you know, I just want to know when Q dress Green grounds. I just want to know when like the bottom hits and people are like actually upset. Okay, can we get like, how about trust the frustration? This is H.A. Goodman's plan. It's called trust the frustration and expect eventually that Trump will fight back. Because the only thing, like, look what's taking place right now. And by the way, military intel officers couldn't predict the Michigan State football game if you spotted them 30 points. Okay? If you work for the government, you work for a bureaucracy that rewards you for just being a yes man. That's it. You're not predicting the future. I love when they're like, how much more evidence do you need? Hey, how about anything? Like, that isn't like, ridiculous. The Yahtzee! I mean, I read Q, interesting stuff. The riddles are fun. I'll give them that. They're fun riddles. They make you feel special. But I would never argument for something being trust because Q said it. Exactly. The Yahtzee. That's all I hear. Q said this, Q said that. 31 downvotes. People unsubbing from which is fine because eventually I'm going to get every one of those subs and a heck of a lot more back. If I would be worried if I was the YouTubers who were like, oh, I'm actually speaking on behalf of military intelligence. Because you never know. Mueller is like, it's like the bottom of the barrel now. They're going after YouTubers. They have nothing there. So they're like, oh, gee, what do you think's going to happen if Mueller is like, gosh, I have nothing. I have nothing more left. Maybe there are people who are pretending that they speak to actual military intelligence. Oh, I'll go after them. Okay. Johnny 5, I trust me and God. Exactly, Johnny 5. Never trust government is not your friend. Absolutely. Government's not your friend, and imaginary intel officers ain't anyone's friends either. Johnny 5, thank you. I agree. Trust in God, trust yourself. That's it. Larry. Larry Gork, thank you. Skinny Kenny, thank you. Trump cannot stay on defense, even if you have a defense that scores, And then even if it was hurting Trump, he would shut it. No, he wouldn't. He also won't tell you Santa Claus the Tooth Fairy isn't real. I know, I'm a bad person. Bad, H.A. And it's like I had enough too, for a long time. I was walking on eggshells. I'd make like one little comment about Q, like one benign comment. This was like months back, and I'd get like, really good person, H.A. Love your channel. Lay off, Q. You're a good person, H.A. Really good person. Watch you for a long time. You said something wrong. It was cold as ice. It was wrong. I'm willing to forgive you. Then I was like, what? What did I say? Oh, that one little thing? That's weird. Why would you get upset? Then it was like, oh, okay. Then I'm like, no, that's it. I'm done. That's it. Game over. But look at the wonderful plan, everyone. It's winning time. It's great. Isn't this fantastic? Isn't this just wonderful? I can't wait for the next Q post regarding this. This is really great. I feel really good. I feel like I'm part of a movement, and thank you, John. Thank you. Johnny 5! I just tried to super chat, and YouTube censored me. Told my account why. Well, there are a whole bunch of words that
YouTube censors. And then there are like, cuss words that I've censored myself. It's kind of funny too, like when you have a YouTube channel, you have to also like, for your live chat, you have to censor you have to like write words that you don't want. So it's just kind of hilarious writing all of the most disgusting words that you could think of. It's kind of funny. James Comey basically said also that he doesn't care who paid for the Steele dossier, which is hilarious. That's, the thing. That's the thing. Everything's going to be just fine, everyone. Trust the plan. Everything's going to be great. This is a really good thing what happened today. This is really great. Anyone who tells you otherwise is just, Harry Thomas, thank you. Everything's great. Everything's going to be just fine. Everything's going to be just fine. You have nothing to worry about. Just fine. Everything's going to be just fine. Everything will be fine. Sparky. Rosenstein recommended Chris Ray, who worked for... Yep. That's a great point. That's a great point. Wow. Wow. That is a great point. I heard that. That is a great, great, great point. Sessions started all of this, and oh wow, Alan Dershowitz is on Twitter arguing with oh my god. Oh, somebody tried to go after Alan Dershowitz. That's not good. Oh, wow. Somebody's publishing. Oh, wow. Someone's trying to publish Alan Dershowitz's thoughts on all of this because he obviously is a resistance. I hope he gets sued into oblivion. We'll see. Wow. So this guy's name is... It's at SHAP. I am not all defensive about standing up for principles, which I have advocated for many years. SHAP totally misled me by telling my assistant that he was doing research and wanted to ask me academic questions, and accused me of defending Trump's civil liberties for money rather than out of belief in principle. Oh my God. Everybody goes for the money angle. Same with like me. They're like, who's paying you to hurt Q? It's like, actually, you make bank spreading that nonsense, and you make a lot of money spreading Trump Russia. Anytime you want to fight back, Trumpy, we're waiting. Anytime. We're waiting. We're waiting, President Trump. UK Patriot, thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, God bless. Thank you so very much. I am not disparaging any people who follow Q. I don't want you to think that. I'm disparaging Q. And mainly because today is so frustrating. Kind of just shows that you shouldn't trust any plan at all. Ladies and gentlemen, God bless. Thank you so very much. To my super chat, thank you. And I'll see you soon, ladies and gentlemen. Let's hope there's some the big payback very soon. I think there will be. Thank you.